Man Facebook Live. Also, you can go to datingdiscussionslive.com. Listen, for those of you all tuning in, you can share this with those that you feel can add some, feel that they receive some sort of benefit to this. But I'm just going to share a few thoughts, and I will try not to be too long, but I really want to make sure that I get a point. I get across the point that I'm trying to make in an earlier podcast that I did last week concerning cuffing season and my thoughts about cuffing season. Now, like anything else, this particular term has evolved. So what is cuffing season? Cuffing season, and see, it's going to be unique to those in the southern states or the warmer states, but it's those states and countries that have a fall and winter, then this is where people feel that it is needed. And what does this have to do with dating, relationships, and sex? Damn near everything. So, what is cuffing season commonly known as? Well, cuffing season is a time, a period. Some will say whether it's September or through January or May. The winter season, for some it's the fall and winter season, ending in the spring, because you have the spring and the summer to do whatever, where you may not have met Mr. or Mrs. Right, but what you do have is a Mr. or Mrs. Right now. And that's what it was called years ago. It was something that said, like, okay, Ronnie, she's not Miss Right, but she's Miss Right now. This is what's going to have to do. Now, truth be told, that is settling. And based on the arrangements that you have with yourself and arrangements you have with this person either knows and is consented to that, or doesn't know that they are the right now person. Right now being for that cuffing season. And now we're calling it, and there's other terms, so I'm not going to go into all of that, but now it's commonly known as cuffing season, where you're spending this time in the fall and winter with a person for a particular point of time because you haven't found that person, and your motivation to go outside and date and go to dinners, lunches, whatever the case may be, is you're just not that motivated to do that. So, at the end of cuffing season, things get warmer. Now you're going to go explore all these other options. Now, based on where you ask, this is something that people know that they are good with that. They really are happy with cuffing season because it's a kind of in-between space where you don't feel lonely. Well, what does cuffing season in fact entail? Here is where it can get real sticky, because anyone who really understands themselves, be it a man or a woman, if you've lived long enough, have dated long enough, been in relationships, marriage, or whatever the case may be, if there's one thing, if you've really been paying attention to men and women, you know that the way men move is different than the way women move. One of the challenges that I find in dating and relationships is that we have far too many women trying to get men to be more like women. They don't say that, but if you listen to the nuanced conversations that they're having and challenges, it is pretty much that. They want them to be emotional like women when it's convenient for them, and then toughen up and not cry and alpha their way through it when he needs to. So it's this switch that they want to flip on a man, or a man's supposed to have when it comes to that space. And then you have those men, where they want them to be more like a man in certain spaces. Now, overall, they don't, because a confident man, intentional man, really needs his woman to be feminine and cooperative in the space of a relationship and marriage, moving on, building family, and all of that. In its essence, the way men receive things is different than the way women receive things. And these are the conversations that has to be had in the dating space and in relationship, and learning that and understanding the beauty. There's a beauty in that, and the grand design, and the way women were created and the way men are created. This also goes into cuffing season. So here is what happens. If you're going to have a designated time between fall and the spring to be cuffing season, and you ask, what is that going to entail? Well, pretty much, if you listen, it's doing everything you would be doing with Mr. or Mrs. Right if it was that person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And that means going to movies. You know, you don't want to go, so you have him come over to your house, or she goes over to his house, you Netflix, you chill. And yes, listen to me clearly. Yes, sex is involved. There is no man in his right mind. And this is one, again, where you get the conflict here with women. Because cuffing season involves sex. Why would he settle down to spend a whole winter with a woman if he knows nothing is going to happen, after the season is over and their sex is not involved? You're doing everything in a relationship within a certain time period with a person you know damn well isn't the one you're going to want to consider for a long-term partner. So, but here's where the women say, well, Ronnie, it has the potential to be that. Well, then why what do we call cuffing season? Then this is dating, building into a relationship. We're trying to interchange things at our convenience and not calling it for what it is. If it's a season, it's a season. If he is not the one, he is not the one. And here's the thing, ladies, listen to me clearly. Men know this. There are things that women will let slide that men won't. And a man pretty much, an intentional man, a man with a purpose and knows who the heck he is, knows that this is a woman that I'm going to court, and I'm going to court and for a lifelong relationship. Or she's someone just for a season, someone to have fun with. And if you think that that man is in some way, shape, or form hoping that it may turn into something, well, good luck with that. Now, has it happened? Yes, I'm sure there's some examples out there. But again, I bet if you really quantified and took a survey of all those who participate in cuffing season, you'll have women who will over and over and over talk about, hey, I thought it was going to turn into something, but it didn't. Now, if you're okay with that, okay, that's good. But then again, why wouldn't you try to determine that before you get into doing this cuffing thing? Men automatically know. So at the end of that season, he's out and about. Numbers are on his side. You have more women out there. He's gone. He's in the win. Because he's intentional about someone, that particular woman, or he's not. And he knows going into cuffing season. So in a woman's mind, she can create any scenario that she wants. But I'm just telling you, when we're talking about men, then more than likely, he just, you know what, it's convenient for him. Hell, I'm still, getting some companionship. Someone's in my bed. I'm getting laid. Hey, I can turn up the dating app, or I can still be in a dating and doing whatever the case may be. And there are those men who are still dating while they're cuffing season with a woman. There are those women that are dating, not as often while still in cuffing season. And if there's anything that I've always expressed in the space of dating, is focus and discipline. So let's also talk about those believers, for those women and men that are praying for Mr. or Mrs. Right. And they're leaving it up to God to align them with the person they need to be with the rest of their life. So look at it from this space. You're telling me that you're waiting on God to send you this person from let's just say May until September or October. But during cuffing season, you want him to put it on pause while you cuff with this person and doing all the other relationship stuff, although because he's not Mr. Right. He's Mr. Right now. And then when you're out of cuffing season, then you're putting him back on point to send you this person. Well, no, no, Ronnie, he can still send it in between that. Again, ladies, are you okay with knowing that while you're dating this man that you have some feelings for and things are progressing along, he's still intimate with one or two other women? Now again, if you are, go for it. That is you. You don't have to listen to what I'm sharing with you. I'm just saying, again, it takes focus and discipline. So if things are progressing along, why entertain someone that's not going to be the one when the one that is for him is right there in front of him? I talk to men about this all the time. And I get it, the horniness, the desire to not want to be by yourself on those snowy nights, hell, the snowy days. But I'm saying in my mind, I'm going, well, fellas, I don't want to be alone on the summer days too. I want to be on the beach with an incredible looking woman and in a relationship. Loneliness is loneliness. Now, we can sit here and put more weight on it if it's in the wintertime. But again, a lot of that's all in our head. So here we are putting God on pause because you're in cuffing season with the brother in church or the sister in church. And then for springtime, you can start manifesting. Okay, God, you know what? Cuffing season is over. I'm ready. Send him to me. If he's out there, send him to me during the spring and summer months. But during wintertime, don't send him because I'm cuffing right now. Because maybe you have some other plans for me, so you didn't send him during this time. So you know what, God? I'm going to handle this right now because a sister has needs. Now, again, what are the pros? Ron, you talked about all the bad scenarios. What are the pros? Well, the pros are, if that's what you want and that other person is happy with that, do you. Do you. You're both getting what you want out of the situation. You both agree that this is going to be more than what this is during this time, and that is what it is. And that at the end of cuffing season, you both shake hands, go off maybe once in a while, you go on a movie, and connect, text each other off and on. But you know what? You're off to go find Mr. Right. He's going off to find Mrs. Right. So again, if this is something that two grown people can do and want to do, then go do it. But I also look at it in the space of if you're, young and in your 20s and you have the whole lifetime ahead of you, then that's one thing. But in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, when your summers are limited, God willing, you are now sitting here taking time and pausing every winter until you find this particular person. See, I coach that focus, discipline, intentional dating for men and for the women that I talk to is 24/7, 365. If you know who you are and you're intentional about what your intentions are, you're dating for the purpose of marriage, a healthy marriage, then that's going to happen even in the winter months. And you may, in some space, miss out on an incredible opportunity instead of going on that date that someone pinged you on in your dating app, or while you're shopping, because you're still going to go out to food shop, or hey, you may treat yourself to a dinner or lunch or whatever just in the bank and meet someone. But now you want to put this guy here who could potentially be the one, or this woman, for maintaining what you have during cuffing season. Now, some may try to finagle at both. Well, then if that's the case, well, then going out with that person who could be the one, that's you're still dating. So why are we microwaving our things? And again, this we're trying to microwave the dating process to put in all these fillers instead of staying focused. This is why when I talk to men and women, when they're talking about date them all, Ron, just I'm just dating them all. May the best man win. And usually they pick the wrong damn one. Why? Because A, they haven't worked on themselves. They haven't worked on themselves, so they miss the red flags that pop up, and they're still dating the same type of man that hurt them 3 men ago. Past 3 men, and so now they haven't taken the time to whatever, so they put themselves out there instead of saying, okay, I'm gonna date this guy here, and within the first whatever, boom, he's not the one. Next. Now, are there women who can do that successfully? Again, yes. Just like there are men. Far too often I see women trying to date like men, and with disastrous results. Women, you're not men. Stop believing these women telling you do it just because men do it. Men do stupid stuff too. And they're those men who once they put the effort and investment in themselves, they realize that that was stupid. Now again, I'm not here to pass judgment on those who do, because I've experienced a cuffing season, several cuffing seasons. So I can speak from experience. But in hindsight, I knew that had I had the chance, and again, I understand the convenience, but now one of those times was when I was incredibly young, and I felt I had the world a lifetime ahead of me. But really, when I think about what I missed out on, potentials that I missed out on, who was the one, it wasn't worth it to me. But I get the immediate desire to have someone with you in the winter months, and it's cold, and you don't want someone to bed. I get that. The temptation is there, and you want to address that. But see, here's the thing. I truly believe that once you have made a determination to go for whatever goal that is, you will be tested. And that happens also when you're dating. Ladies, how many times have you heard that, or you've seen the meme that once you have potentially found the one guy, your ex pops up out of nowhere? It's like he has a spidey sense that says, you know what? I got a feeling my ex has met someone. Let me go over there and disrupt